last time we touched on funding. If you have a major dispute, let's say you don't have the cash flow to take it forward, but you have a strong case. How does that party, that contractor, that individual go about finding this funding? Does he search on Google? Does he call you? Where will he find this potential funding? And when he finds these people who will potentially fund, what does he have to do to convince them?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Also, there's no one place where you can go and shop around. Like I know in the States they have like a place where you can go on a website and like type in you want this type of insurance, and it'll give up all these different quotes on like what the insurance will be and your price and everything, and depending on what your range is. Unfortunately, the funding world doesn't work that way. And it's you have some funders out there that are trying to promote themselves. They go to conferences. They speak definitely to lawyers. I'm sure they talk to you guys as well. But there's no one place where they can go. And there's at least I know maybe about 76 funders in the world right now.
Wow.
And it's not just funders who are focused on funding litigations and arbitrations. You also got private investors who will do this. You got hedge funds out of New York that are looking in the market to fund claims. And now I just found out that there's 3 other services here in Dubai. They're not necessarily law firms. They're just they're like litigation support services companies, which provide not only like reprographics, court reporting, but they also will help fund the case as well, which is ridiculous. Well, not ridiculous, but which is interesting, I should say. So yeah, to answer your question, there's no one place for a party to go. It's usually done through hearing these type of events or listening to these type of talks, reaching out to law firms, reaching out to you guys who have the contacts.
Yeah, I mean, I would add to that any funder is going to want a legal opinion on your claim. So a good place to start is a law firm, because if you go to a law firm, then you can probably work together with the law firm, and the law firm can then say, okay, I'll help you get the funding. I'll provide a legal opinion, and
they probably have the contacts. Anyway.
And they have the contacts, yeah. So I would say the best place to start is a law firm. There are when I first started looking at a case, looking for funding, some time back, they were all big international companies, and they weren't necessarily operating in the UAE. But now all of the big companies are operating here, and as Fernando mentioned, there are local companies here, and there are local funders which have cropped up.
Okay, so there are options for sure.
Yeah. The one other option I would mention is another reason to talk to a law firm is you may actually be able to work something with a law firm on a contingency basis, no win, no fee. I'm sure you're happy to take cases on that basis. No, but there are lawyers. There are firms that will do that. There are firms that will look at some of these cases, despite the fact that actually under the rules of the law firms here, they are not supposed to work on that basis, but companies do.
Yeah, I mean, the other advice I would give everyone out there, especially if you are going to reach out to a law firm, many of these law firms have their own arrangements with these funders. A lot of them are from the UK, these funders, and they do to some extent get some kind of preferential treatment, or at least get some kind of better rate potentially for you. I will also be conscious that some of the firms probably won't push you to funding. In fact, they'll try to discourage the whole funding process. A lot of it because it has to do a lot of work for the law firm to do, right? Because they have to work for free for some of them just to get you the funding. And we talked about the legal opinion. Legal opinion on a 100 million dirham construction case is a lot of work, and if they're not getting paid for it, the funding option tend not to be too attractive to them, because they all have their hourly rates that they have to meet and that sort of thing. So, but there are some lawyers out there who are very experienced with funding, i.e. me being one. Not that I'm promoting myself or anything, but there's other lawyers out there in the market who have experience.
Another Another thing is that you see, these funders, what they're looking at is reducing their risk. And if you go to them with a single case and you say, you're looking for funding on this, they'll have an opinion one way or the other. But if you go to a law firm, you may find that through the sort of arrangements that Fernando's mentioned, the funder is funding a number of cases with that law firm, and that means they're spreading their risk. They're not putting all of their funds into one particular case or one particular client. Through the law firm, they're spreading their risk. So, they have a better ability to fund things that way.
Yeah, and some of these funders actually don't even use law firms, right? They actually have their own internal capability to be able to evaluate the claims itself. Mm-hmm. And then they will do the legal part, and then they will come to you guys to do the actual claim bit, right, to prepare that.